Jim Justice of West Virginia. I'm so glad to have you on the program today. I have noticed you've been saying a lot about this topic. First of all, we just had a bit of a sliver of breaking news there with the Treasury Department, now their Inspector General, willing to look at the books.
Harris, listen, we treasure our jobs in Parkersburg, West Virginia. We want to continue to have those jobs. It's all about community and everything else. These are accountants and everything, but they need to be at work. I mean, there's no question they need to be at work. And I think the bottom line of the whole thing is the Democrats are running through the streets with their hair on fire and trying to just whip people up and scare people to death. The strategy that they had in the previous election, and they got doors blown off. And so we'll see what happens and everything. We're just very, very thankful that we're getting rid of a whole bunch of waste all across this nation, and it's long overdue.
You know what? I love where you started there, because what you're talking about is the human element in all of this. And it is a fine line that you walk when you know you have to cut the waste, and yet there are real people who will be affected by this. And what you're saying is, look, and I'm going to ask my team to pop this up right now. This is the current debt. We have a clock here, and I know they have them online too. But here at Fox, we created our very own For the Faulkner Focus. That's the debt going up every second of the day. And so, Congressman, what you're talking about is this is going to get done.
Well, at the end of the day, we elected President Trump and let him do his job. I mean, for crying out loud, let him get his team in place and let him do his job. And absolutely, I say this, because I talk in just plain talk. Harris, the Democrats, and I'm a new kid on the block in the Senate, and watching the liberal Democrats in Washington, D.C. is absolutely shocking to me. Why in the world you would absolutely defend this unbelievable amounts of waste, and they continue to do it.
Yeah.
They act like, I would say, how many cows are in the field? Just count the egg-sucking cows. What they want to do is they want to say, no, let's count the legs and divide by 4. And if we do that, maybe
Wow.
it will confuse it. We'll confuse it so much we won't be able to figure it out. But let President Trump do his job. He's an absolute superstar in my book, and he is absolutely going to do it, and we're so proud of him.
All right. Well, Democrats are lashing out after Elon Musk's comment this week on the billions of dollars of fraudulent federal spending. Let's watch together.
I have been hearing that my entire lifetime, that all we have to do is find this magical waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, if it's so easy, how come it hasn't happened my entire lifetime?
Don't believe the fraud, waste, abuse, inefficiency. They are dismantling this system to delay until dead.
The problem is what you're hearing from Elon Musk and Donald Trump and other Republicans who are repeating misinformation.
Nobody has any idea what Elon Musk is doing, including the president, including my friend from Texas, who has no idea whether Elon Musk has found fraud or not.
Well, same from the liberal media in terms of their reaction all over. The New York Times with the headline, "At Oval Office, Musk makes broad claims of federal fraud without proof." ABC News with Trump, Musk so far provides scant evidence for their claims of government fraud. But in the fall of last year, the Government Accountability Office found, quote, the federal government could be losing between $233 billion and $521 billion annually to, wait for it, fraud. Most of that from the Treasury, Labor, and Veterans Affairs departments. It's all right there on the agency's website. You don't even have to look far. Just Google it. The Wall Street Journal editorial board dug into those numbers, and it found those billions of dollars in fraud and unemployment benefits, employee tax credits, Medicare, Medicaid, also millions in COVID benefit payments, and in the Social Security Administration's master death file. Congressman, it's not that hard to find the receipts.
No, it's not. And absolutely, I don't know how in the world our liberal friends could not see that. But with all that being said, Harris, I think you do a phenomenal job. You do it every day. And if I could just add one thing, just imagine just this. Just dumb it down. Make it really simple. Let's just say that a man shows up in your driveway and knocks on the door and says, there's a man standing out there in the street, and if you'll give him 2 minutes, he can save you real money at your house. He can maybe save you money on your taxes, or on your water bill, your power bill, and everything else. There's not a family in America that would say, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Well, of course we need to do that. We all need to do that. This is just common sense. You know, we don't need to be sending tens of millions of dollars to people to teach them about Sesame Street, or tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars to terrorist groups to absolutely teach them DEI. Absolutely. We got to wake up in America and get ourselves on the right foot. And I'm a wholehearted believer that the Trump administration, and thank goodness for Elon Musk, that he's absolutely willing to do this.
Willing to do it.
And asking for nothing.
David Marcus with this Fox opinion. Democrats sow Doge hysteria in small town of West Virginia. An excerpt here now. Democrats here have managed to scare many of the local folk into thinking that a visit from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency means that the Federal Bureau of Fiscal Service, a big employer in town, is in danger of closing. The federal government is not an unmanned rocket ship that we can blow up and learn lessons from. It impacts the daily lives of millions of Americans, and as unacceptable as the Democrats' lies are, the American people could use a little bit more clarity. I want to go back to the debt clock, because this is really what this is all about. Congressmen, our children and the children of our children are looking at this. And so this is what President Trump and Elon Musk and really Americans who voted for Trump are saying. We got to stop that number from ticking up. What do we do? Your thoughts on, first of all, the West Virginia part of it?
Well, from the standpoint of West Virginians, you know, and everything, I really believe this, Harris. You know, at the end of the day, what we need to do is just really simple. You know, $37 trillion. It's more money than any of us can ever dream of. But with all that being said, just think for a second. If you're a business guy, Trump's a business guy, I'm a business guy, really and truly, in doing what we did in West Virginia for 8 years, what did we do? We basically kept almost a flat budget. Well, what we've got to do in the federal government, we've got to absolutely gather in all the waste that we possibly can and get rid of it. That's the first thing. But then we've got to grow. We have got to grow. And how can we grow that would be really beneficial to West Virginia? Energy. For crying out loud, we should be the Saudi Arabia of the world. Energy right at our fingertips is the answer. It's the answer to everything. And at the end of the day, we can talk all day long, but never have I seen a business that you can completely cut your way out of the problem. Now, we got all kinds of stuff we got to cut first. But right behind that, we got to grow our way out of this mess. Wow. And the secret to growing our way out of this mess is one word: it's energy.
Wow, you know, that's the kind of clarity that I think what I read, that quote that I read, and what people say they're looking for. And you just put, I mean, you hammer that nail right into the wall. We can hang the picture now. So good to talk with you today, Congressman. Thank you. Please come back. Senator,
no, thank you so much, Harris. Thank you again.
Thank you. A big celebration.